Hi, my name's Steve Large and I want to talk a little bit about road rage. Now, I was very into me road rage a few years back, probably about 6 years ago now. I was into road rage for quite a little while. This was because I was angry with myself. I was lost in my mind and I had this belief that wherever I wanted to go, everyone had to get out of my way. Why are you in my way? You're stopping me, you're an idiot, you're a fool. And I had this belief that if I did something, someone had to thank me. Now, these are just beliefs, it's just nonsense, and it's an awful way to live. I used to get so anxious before I would leave on a journey. I'd already know the hot spots where people would try and cut in, or just all the potential places where I was going to lose control. And I'd already set myself up to do this. I'd already be conditioning myself for seeing that this was going to happen, winding myself up, and as soon as I'd get there, it'd be like, oh, here we go, look at you. So I'd already be triggered before necessarily anything went on. This is not only a dangerous way to live, it's not a good way to live at all. It's all mind-based, and we have to accept and understand that not everyone is as good at some things as everyone else. Now, we can't judge everyone to be like us. Some of us are good drivers, some of us are tolerant drivers, some of us are awful drivers. Now, this doesn't make them bad people, or those who are good drivers good people. It just means that they're better at that skill and they're worse at that skill. That's all it means. Now, to be understanding of how things work, we need to accept that people are at different levels of consciousness, have different levels of skill, have different levels of everything. This is part of acceptance. We can't assume and expect everyone to be as good as what we perceive ourselves to be, because sometimes we perceive ourselves to be something we're not. I know a lot of people who are good drivers who aren't good drivers. So rather than spending our life with this belief of everyone should get out of my way, we need to slow down. So we need to go onto the road and go out with the expectation of getting to where we're going, relaxed. If we need to be somewhere fast, we need to preempt that the roads are going to be busy, because the roads are getting busier everywhere. Even here in New Zealand, the roads are getting busier. Now, I can either get myself wound up and hate everything here because the roads are getting busier, or I just accept the roads are getting busier. It's out of my control. I need to manage the way I drive and I travel around, and that means I know if I have to leave 10 minutes earlier, I just get out of bed 10 minutes earlier, just to have that respite of the anxiety, because the anxiety is not worth it. It's just not worth it at all, especially, well, from my perspective, it's not. I don't understand anymore why I used to let myself get to them places and into them situations of pure rage, just because someone was driving slow or someone was inconsiderate on the road. And it isn't great, it isn't the way they should be driving, but it just is the way they drive. Now, I can either accept that and avoid them if they're driving dangerous, or say, hey, you know what, they're going slow. There's a car probably 100 metres in front of them anyway, so I'm not really going to get there any faster. Or I can blow me lid, scream and shout at everyone in my car, scream and shout at everyone around my car, everyone in the vicinity. I can phone people up and scream and shout at them, and I could do that, but there's no point. It's not going to get me where I'm going any better. And I need to get to where I'm going safe, and I need to get there calm. And it's about making it enjoyable for those people in the car as well, because they're putting their life and their safety in your hands. Now, from your point of view, you're in control and you're justified with your anger and your rage. But from their point of view, they're sitting in a car with someone who's absolutely lost their head. They're going in mental, they're driving insane, and that's got to be quite scary for them. Now, so just because someone's driving slow, does that give us the right to jump into our minds and drive like a maniac and endanger everyone's life? For me, personally, this was not how I wanted to live my life anymore, and I just cruise now on the road. If I need to get somewhere handy, I just leave earlier. Okay, I should have the right to get there in time, and the roads suck, and it's not going to change anything. Getting angry and the injustice of it, everyone wants to be somewhere. Imagine what it's like for these people who can't drive fast. Sometimes it's elderly people or young people who have only just learned, and they're not a fast driver, and they've got this maniac breathing down the neck and get out of my way. Does that make them bad, or does that make us bad? Not that anyone's bad, but from perspective. From their perspective, they've got this older person or this insane person driving behind them, screaming to get out the way. That's from their perspective. You're not a great person in their perspective. You're one of them maniacs that are always screaming at them to get out the way. From your perspective, it's like, you need to learn to drive, you need to go faster, you need to get out of my way. So that's your perspective. It's all about perspective. But what we have to do is we have to come back to being kind and doing what's right. And what's right is not going into our mind and reacting. We need to accept that people just drive worse than what we do, or perceive to be worse. It's all perception, like I say. So we have to accept that people at different levels driving. Now, I know this is easier said than done because I still get triggered, and I get triggered now to the point of I'll see it and I'll be like, yeah, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not jumping in my head. I have got no more beliefs now that I am more entitled to drive somewhere any quicker than anyone else. We're all trying to get somewhere, and we've all got to deal with traffic. You are traffic too. You are in other people's way. That's how you need to look at it. You're traffic. So you're somebody else's traffic. You're in somebody else's way. You're slowing somebody else down. Now, for us all to get angry and scream and shout is not going to solve the problem. What we need to do is, like I say, just leave a bit earlier. Breathe. Remember to breathe in your car. Because getting angry is not going to get you there any quicker. That's important to know. All it's going to do is get you where you're going fuming, and then you're going to probably have a rubbish time wherever you are as well. And just spread that about. Oh yeah, guess what? My journey sucked, and there's this person going really slow, and I'm here 10 minutes late now because of them. It's not important. Just plan your journeys a little bit better. Leave a little bit earlier, because it is what it is. Getting angry is not going to stop it being what it is. The roads are getting busier. We need to just accept it, breathe, and just go out there and do what we've got to do. Don't look in people's car either. That's one thing I learned. Don't let them put that negative energy on you, because I drive past now and I just don't look. I just keep my head down. I'm going where I want it, because that used to be a trigger as well. Someone flipping me the bird or telling me this, telling me that. I just don't want to know. I've got no intention of getting into a row. I don't want to scream and shout. I don't want to be screamed and shouted at. I'm just going about my business. I'm keeping my head down and doing what I need to do. So I just don't look. I've got no interest what their opinion is about me. They're entitled to it. It's none of my business. My business is driving safe, driving calm, being considerate of other road users, and getting to where I am safely for me and for the passengers in my car. That's what's important. That's not mind based. It's just driving to where I need to drive. At the end of the day, enjoy the journey. It's not a race, even though some days it feels like it. Alright, love and light. Thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day or evening wherever you are.